So it's true. What you're eating is making you fat, but it's not actually the reason why you're fat. Let that process for a second. While that's processing, I want to tell you a story. Okay. Okay, so let's say it's summer of 2014. This is a couple years ago. I weigh 235, 240 pounds. Normally, I weigh in at like 180. So I'm 50, 60 pounds overweight. Every day, I worked from home. So my life consisted of sitting on the couch, on my laptop, doing work during the day, eating Oreos and other random crappy foods. For lunch, I'd walk about 10 feet right behind our apartment, where there was this amazing pizza joint, and I'd eat a couple of big old slices of Chicago-style pizza. Go back to my apartment, sit down on the couch. Sometimes I would move from the couch to the table on the patio, do a little bit of work. 4:35 rolls around, I would stop working and turn on Netflix, usually on my laptop. Sit on the couch, again, eating some crappy foods and watching Netflix. And I would watch Netflix basically the rest of the night. And then I would go to sleep at 11:30, 10:30, 11. Get up the next morning at 8 and repeat. And that was my life. Maybe once every 3 or 4 months, I would go on a hike. Once every 3 or 4 months, I would go down to the gym and I'd run a mile. And I would be so winded that I would feel like I had just run a marathon. But that was my life. All right. This might seem familiar to some of you in terms of the lifestyle that you lead. Now, yours might be different. You might actually go to your job. You might not live at home or work at home, but you might drive to your job. You park as close as you can. You walk in. You sit down at your desk. You do your work. You don't get up until you have to go to the bathroom or to get your lunch. But sometimes you bring your own lunch. You don't ever get up at all during the day. You go home. You sit down on the couch. You pop a beer, pop a soda, whatever it is you drink, and you sit down and you watch TV. All right. That's the bulk of you, because I know that because I see you outside and I know that was me. I can recognize when that happens. And one of the things that's really difficult is during the course of the time when I was gaining all of that weight, I did P90X twice. I did Insanity. Well, I tried to do Insanity. I did Insanity for a couple of weeks. I tried playing volleyball. I played volleyball in high school and in college. So I tried to just play more volleyball. So sometimes I would play volleyball a couple times a week. Nothing helped. Nothing worked. And I just kind of consistently gained weight. Okay. So let's go back to what I said at the beginning. What you eat is making you fat, but it's not the reason why you're fat. Okay. I was fat because I ate crappy food. But eating crappy food wasn't the reason why I was fat. The reason why I was fat was because I didn't have a true love and understanding of the beauty of being in shape. Not beauty just like from a conceptual standpoint, but the beauty meaning actually experiencing being in shape and understanding the endorphins that are released when you're exercising and having a true love for a sport, for using my body for physical things, right? To actually get out there and do stuff with it, right? And so what happened was about October of 2014, I signed up at a boxing gym. I wanted to learn, actually I signed up because the guy there is Russian. It's a whole long story. It's ridiculous, but signed up there and I loved it. And I loved it so much, so quickly that I would go as often as I could. Now, granted, at the very beginning, I was still pretty lazy. So I'd take a class on Monday, and then I'd rest on Tuesday. And then I'd take a class on Wednesday, I'd rest on Thursday. I'd take a class on Friday, rest on Saturday. But as time went on, I would ramp that up, and then I would take a class every morning. And then after a while, I'd take a class every morning, and then a class a couple of times a week during the middle of the day. Then as time went on, I would take some of the evening classes, and I just sort of went from there. Now, the interesting thing is, I wasn't doing more. The exercises themselves were not more intense than before. And in fact, the food that I was eating was no different than what I was eating before. But I started to notice myself losing weight, and it came off pretty quick. And I realized something over the course of the next year and a half as I continue to lose weight. Now I weighed in this morning at 185. 190, sorry. 190. I've put on a little bit of muscle since then. What I realized was my mind was so attached to the crappy food and the lazy lifestyle that what I had to do was find something that I loved more than watching Netflix, which happened to be boxing, Muay Thai. I had to actually get out there and find something that I could do for an extended period of time that I loved, that I wanted to do, and the rest of it just sort of came. It just happened. I just started to notice that if I ate ice cream the night before an early morning workout, I felt like crap for that morning workout. So I stopped eating ice cream during the week. And I used to eat ice cream every day. So what happened was I got to the point where I knew I didn't work out on Sundays, so I knew I could eat ice cream on Saturday nights. So Saturday night was the time for me to eat ice cream. And it wasn't like a sacrifice because, again, I loved doing Muay Thai and I loved not feeling like crap while I was doing it. So there's a lot more to this. There's a lot more to the story. And like as the intensity grows, the weight loss grows, and you build muscle, and there's so much more that I could talk about. But what I really want to get to, what I really want to point out here is the stuff that you're eating is only making you fat because you're letting it. Because your brain likes that. If you give your brain something else that it likes more, and I promise you, finding a sport that entices you both emotionally and I'll say philosophically, even though you're not going to really get that, but something that you really enjoy, if you find some sort of activity that you really enjoy that actually forces your body to work hard, the nutrition, all that stuff will follow. So many times I talk to people and they're like, oh, it's so hard to get in shape because there's so much you have to do. And you have to go to the gym for 2 or 3 hours a day, or at least an hour a day. And you got to cut out all this food. You got to cut out sugar, and you got to only have one cheat day a week. And I just love donuts so much. Forget about all that. Don't stop eating donuts. It's never gonna happen. You're never gonna actually successfully trick your own mind into thinking that it doesn't want donuts. It's just not gonna happen. So what I would suggest is, first of all, this is poorly timed. This guy decided to bring that blower over here. Okay, he's gone. What I would suggest is that you forget about trying to make any type of diet changes. Don't even worry about it. Focus all of your energy on finding some sort of activity that you like doing. I personally think that there is so much joy and beauty in boxing and in combat sports. So I'd find a local MMA gym, a local jiu-jitsu gym, a local boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, whatever it is. Find one of those. Go try out a couple of their classes. Normally they'll give you like a week for free to come try out their stuff. Just go every day. Bing, 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 bing. And if you go every day for a couple of weeks, I want you to keep track of the stuff that you naturally eat. Just don't try to eat healthy or not healthy. Just eat what you want to eat. And over the course of a couple of weeks to a month to a couple of months to 6 months to a year, your natural diet, the stuff that you naturally reach for, will change. Naturally, you're going to want to go for the healthier stuff because your body naturally wants to do the activities and wants to not feel like crap. So you're tricking your body into doing what you want it to, into wanting what you want it to. Because you're never actually going to succeed if you try and deprive yourself, your body, of what it actually wants. That's a total myth. All the people that talk about self-sacrifice and you gotta have discipline and you gotta deny yourself of the stuff that you want. No, it's bullshit. It's not going to work. It won't work. But if you can hack your mind and your body into thinking that it wants what you want it to want, this is the way you do that, by the way, it becomes easy. It becomes natural, right? And then the things that you want are the things that you want. Duh, right? So, focus not on exercise or the diet. Don't put any emphasis on that. Focus on being committed to exercise. If you don't have a local boxing gym, if you don't have anything else, go running. Run for 45 minutes, but run for real. Don't just run a mile. Run 3 or 4 miles and do that every day. And forget about all that stuff about recovery. Your body, it's all in your head. Like, you can't, at this point in your life, you can't hurt your body. You're not mentally capable of pushing yourself hard enough to hurt your body. I have been doing this for 2 years, and I'm just barely getting to the point where I'm capable mentally of pushing myself to hurting myself. Okay, for the first time, just this last week, right after 2 years of exercise, I've got to the point where I'm training, hardcore training, 4 to 5 hours every day. Okay, and I just barely started to getting to the point where I was injuring myself for overwork. So all that stuff about like you want to make sure you recover and all that stuff, that's all well and good, but you're don't let it stop you. It's because it's all true. It's just not. It doesn't help you, and I'm trying to help you. So exercise consistently, and let the fitness and the nutrition take care of itself. And I know it will. Peace out, y'all.